Evening. Check this out, bonus evening video from Jeff Buys Cars. I wasn't really going to film anything tonight because I've still got toothache, but then when I went to pick up some bits from the shop, including painkillers, look what I found. It is the 2025 Hot Wheels Dodge Viper GTS, and I took that as a sign that I'll make another evening video. Two things I want to talk about. One, there's been this fire at Jaguar Land Rover. Have you seen it in the news? It's huge. It's the Browns Lane factory. I've not really followed it closely, so I'll have a look at that tomorrow for a video. But don't you find it a bit suspicious that Jaguar Land Rover destroy their brand completely with a woke rebrand that is terribly timed? Then the news comes out that they only sold 49 cars for the Jaguar brand in April. There's a huge lawsuit that's building up against them for all of the DPF and their unreliability problems, and now there's been a huge fire at the factory. I mean, I'm not an insurance investigator, but if I was, I'd maybe just be asking some questions, maybe connecting some dots. And speaking of fires, the ship that was on fire just the other week, the one I reported on, it was called the Morning Midas, I think. It's full of electrical cars, and that's now sunk in 5,000 meters of water. So the question is, the quest to net zero to save the planet is going to be achieved by buying electric cars. How much do we harm the planet when we drop, how many cars was it on the ship? 3,000, 4,000? And lots of those had large lithium batteries that were also full of cobalt, and now we just dump them in the sea. What is the environmental impact of that shit going down? No one's going to talk about that, are they? Nobody cares about that because we're too busy with World War III, and I've not really been following that either. Donald Trump is doing whatever Donald Trump is deciding to do, and meanwhile in the UK, Reform are massively embarrassing themselves by showing themselves for, I think, what they really are, by pushing digital ID. So that's exciting. The US is sending their 50-year-old carrier, what do you call them? Plane carrier, you know, thing. They're massive, they cost all the money, and they've decided to send the Nimitz, which really is a floating museum, to go and help with the war effort. So I saw a post on Twitter just the other day that look out for basically a false flag, in that the Nimitz is there as a sacrificial lamb to usher in World War III. But what do I know? I am quite simply just a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist with toothache. Toothache makes you so miserable, by the way. I know many of you have said in the comments that you've been there, and you've shared some of your stories. And to the gentleman in Cornwall who commented saying, I'm a dentist, I can help, I will phone you, I promise. It got unbelievable yesterday. I've never known pain like it, but we're all right. We're all drugged up, and I bought a bottle of whiskey just in case, on Ron's recommendation, because Ron said when he was about 18 he had toothache, and 6 cocodamol and half a pint of whiskey sorted it right out. Cheers, Ron, for the suggestion. I saw Ron this morning because, and this is quite interesting, you know the little Austin pickup truck I had, the one that I bought from Anglia Car Auctions for I think 380 quid. Well, I put it up on Facebook Marketplace the other day because I'm having a bit of a clear out and I've got toothache, and I'm like, right, in the kind of mood where everything can go, and it's not really doing anything there. I phoned Chelsea Walsh Hill Climb to see if I could donate it to them for a flower pot, and they basically said probably not, but we'll get back to you, and never got back to me. So I put it up on Facebook Marketplace for what I thought was a silly price of £600, and then I sold it for 1,200 quid. Make it make sense. Apparently that did include delivery to Wales as well, by the way. But Ron said when he delivered it this morning, the chap said to him, well, it's in better condition than the last car I restored, and it's only going to take him 3 years. He's absolutely over the moon. I'd like pre-briefed Ron. I'd said, look, what's going to happen is you're going to get there, he's going to take one look at it and go, oh my goodness me, what have I bought? Send that back to Malvern. But no, the guy is like thrilled to bits with the little truck. So that's great news. Been having some quite serious conversations with Ian from Cherish Vehicle Insurance about this upcoming auction at the weekend. I've kind of decided there's not really anything worth buying in the auction, and I should just enjoy a Saturday at home instead. But then Ian's come up with an idea saying, why don't we both withdraw £75 in cash from the bank and go down there together and just see what happens, is what he said. There's a couple of cars that I have got my eye on, but only like not really very seriously. So Ian and I might go down to the auction just for like the early part of Saturday morning I think it would be interesting to document it, because I doubt there's ever going to be a full printed list as to what everything actually sold for, and I haven't yet managed to sit down with the owner and get his story as to why he's selling them. But basically this goes back years, and his choices were sell all the cars that are on the private land that you own that are there legally, or we'll send you to prison. So he had a really good rant when I went down, you know that shot I did where we were filming all the keys? Just prior to me panning my phone across the table and filming all those keys, this guy was going off on one about the fact that even if you own private land in the UK, you're not allowed to do what you like with it, and you don't actually have any control or say as to what you can do with your own land. He's fully keyed up on all sorts. He was talking about Neolithic man, and how man is actually older than we've been told, and how the valley that he lives in, as there's evidence of mammoths. And it was, honestly, I was blown away. I was just like, you're going to like the Jeff Buys Cars channel. But he probably doesn't like the Jeff Buys Cars channel now that I've actually shown all of the cars that are through the auction, and most people are commenting saying, Jeff, they look like they're scrap already. I don't know, if you need parts, if you need some interiors, if you need a few bits and bobs, I'd imagine there's probably a car there for you. I like the Mad Max Renault van. That's the one that I can't get it out of my head since I saw it. I can just see that with a little bit of fill fettling on the inside. We'll get it running, get an MOT on it, and then paint it completely like Raptor grey. And then you've got a Mad Max 4-wheel drive escape van that will run on cooking oil. And that could be a useful thing to have. I reckon if I can get that bought for a couple £100, that could be the one. But now I've made the mistake of telling you all which car I'm actually interested in at the auction, and maybe you'll all go down there and outbid me, or maybe you can't be bothered. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be going to the auction. I obviously like the look of that Peugeot 205 as well, but I think because it's one of the early lots, and it's one of the cars that's most complete, and it's got a nice interior, I can see that going for, basically I'm quite happy to buy a car down there if I could only spend pocket money. I'm only interested in spending pocket money. And you might be saying, Jeff, what are you driving? Sounds like a tractor. Well, it does. I'm driving a 1996, I think, Volvo V70 diesel automatic, top spec car with full leather, heated seats, sunroof. It has got everything. And I bought it speculatively on Facebook Marketplace, and do you know what? Decided I'm going to keep this because it suits the grandad that I am becoming, with my toothache and my slippers and my whiskey and my constant moaning about the price of things. Yeah, that's it. That is tonight's video. Not sure whether it was any good, but I just wanted to address that Browns Lane fire at Jaguar Land Rover. I'm sure in the coming days the news will come out and we'll find out what caused it and just how big it is. Are we staring at the collapse of Jaguar Land Rover? I don't know, because despite their reliability problems, they sell a lot of cars abroad. So I don't understand why anybody buys them when you could buy a Toyota Land Cruiser instead. And Anna Bolter, if you're watching, I will contact you. Let's get together and make a video. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go have half a pint of whiskey and 6 Cocodamol, and then I'm going to put my vest on and start doing transport. Cheers for watching.